Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda, and please welcome to our Operation Freedom platform, WeThePeopleProcessing.com. You know, are you tired of being threatened to be canceled just because you have a company focused on liberty and freedom? Well, worry no more, folks. WeThePeopleProcessing.com is your go-to merchant services, freedom-based company to provide business service payment solutions. We the People Processing provides their clients a cancel culture-free platform which is domestically based. They provide competitive rates, no contracts with next-day funding, a fully vetted and like-minded financial infrastructure, and full support for integrations, implementation, and e-commerce efforts. Bottom line, WeThePeopleProcessing.com focuses on defending your company's free market growth, values, and future. Check them out at www.WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Once you're on the site, enter in password Operation Freedom or call 855-499-2024. That's WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Then, when on the website, enter Operation Freedom as your password or call 855-499-2024.
Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state
She's
categorically?
asking a question.
Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You are
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a
question.
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave versus the MSM. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. We are available still on this YouTube platform. We're also available on our Rumble channel, also named Operation Freedom. By the way, there is someone who has ripped off our name on Rumble in addition. A lot of people are saying, hey, Dave, on that Rumble channel of Operation Freedom, you don't have any of your videos. Wrong Operation Freedom channel. Good old Rumble is taking their good old sweet time. We filed an appeal on that because we have trademarked the name Operation Freedom for this type of content and this type of platform for the past 12 years. So, needless to say, Rumble is not exactly that, nirvana place. It's a problem on a number of different respects. Now, our content is always available. Our content is available on 24/7 at davejanda.com. A lot of free content there, extra shows, extra interviews. In addition, we have our subscription side. We hope you become part of our Freedom family. It's very inexpensive, but it's priceless information. And we put you, not weeks, months, if not years ahead of the curve. Now, we have had quite a fantastic week on the Freedom Front. Wait a minute. No, Dave, no. Yeah, no, we have. That's not hopium. It's truth. We have had, I believe, a turning point. We have had an inflection point. Now, I'm an old guy, all right? I want to take you back to 1980. Our country was in a really bad place, both geopolitically, economically, and actually psychologically amongst the American population. We were defeated. We were despondent. We were under stagflation environments, just like we are now. We had no leadership, just like we are now. And people felt defeated. And then something happened. Something that was not predicted, an event that flipped everything. It was like flipping a switch on. All of a sudden, people became engaged. People became less despondent. People became more positive. That people said, you know what? These bums that are in here that are taking our country down, they're gone. What happened? Something called The Miracle on Ice. Yeah. It's a great movie, actually. Kurt Russell's in it. It's actually very good. I had the opportunity to get to meet and know one of the people on the USA hockey team, an individual by the name of John Harrington. Great guy. But I bring that up because prior to the Olympics, those group of college kids playing hockey, well, they didn't have a chance This is where everybody was, not just on the team, but our country. That team represented our country. Oh, we're defeated. We're done. Our best days are gone. We're not gonna. But those kids in their 20s, with a great coach by the name of Herb Brooks, went to Lake Placid, New York, and beat every team they played, including the vaunted Russians, who could never be defeated, who were beating up the NHL teams. And those kids took on the Soviets and beat them. And then they won in the gold medal game against Finland. Now look, it's a hockey game. Yeah, I know. But this is where my conversation with John Harrington comes in. After the team won the gold medal and defeated the big, bad Russian bears that they were invading Afghanistan. They refused to leave Afghanistan. Russia was. Those kids went to the White House. And what John said is that, we actually realized it was more than just a hockey game based on the reaction we were getting from our friends and our family that we're hearing from, and also from the people in Lake Placid. It just got it. He goes, it was huge. He goes, but then we got on a plane and we flew to Washington, D.C. because Carter, who was the then president, wanted to meet all of us. And he goes, we had played on the East Coast before the Olympics. And when you'd walk around in the streets, people's heads were down and people were despondent and people wouldn't engage and people were depressed. Because we got off that plane and we got on our buses to go to the White House. And there were thousands, tens of thousands of people lining the streets cheering that were holding their heads up and proud to be Americans and saying, chanting USA. He said, we realized, we were like I guess the best way to put it, we were like a defibrillator for our country. We woke it back up, got it off the table. That we inspired people to believe in themselves and their abilities in our country. Just by this hockey game and tournament at the Olympics. On Operation Freedom, I've been speaking about inflation, supply chain issues, and voting with your hard-earned dollars and how to make a difference. Look, we all know over the past couple years how the globalist syndicate has done quite well. And while middle America, small and medium-sized American-made businesses have suffered while the big box stores have prospered. Many people believe, there's nothing you can do about it. I believe there is, folks. I believe there is. That's the good news. We need to vote with our dollars. That is how we make a difference. What if there was a better way to utilize our resources that we have earned to support small and medium-sized businesses rather than these big box stores or the globalist syndicate? Look, businesses that do not rely on cargo ships from far-off distant lands, that are American-based businesses, are the key. And that is where PatriotSwitch.com gives you and me the ability to help each other. Rather than continuing to give our money to the big box stores or the globalist syndicate, if you will. That's why PatriotSwitch.com was created, to help provide products from family-owned, American-made businesses and companies, and provide it to folks like you and me. That's PatriotSwitch.com, PatriotSwitch.com. It was called Miracle on Ice. So here we are in 2022. We needed another miracle on ice. And we got it. But it wasn't on ice. It was on asphalt. This one, is called The Miracle in Asphalt, courtesy of the truckers in Canada and in the US and in Europe and in Australia and in freaking every continent at this point. The truckers have brought it home. Have unified the world against the oppression and the devastation and the totalitarianism of the thugs, of the globalist thugs. It's been monumental. When the trucker convoy started in the west coast of Canada, many people said, well, there are not going to be that many people. It's January. Who's going to come out in Canada to watch the trucks drive by, and how many truckers are really going to get involved? I made a comment on a recent Sunday radio show. A lot of people got upset by it, but I stand by it. The truckers in Canada and around the world are doing what every doctor in the United States and around the world should have done and should be doing, rather than the very few of us who stepped forward many months ago and refused to go along with supporting the mandate scam based on an experimental, no long-term tested fact. The truckers are doing what each and every doc should have done. So let's go back. The convoy started on January 23rd. From Joe Hoff, historic, over 50,000 truckers now joined Freedom Convoy. That got up to over 60,000, by the way. The convoy through Canada protesting the mandates. Massive crowds of Canadians are showing up in support. An estimated over 60,000 Canadian truckers are traveling across Canada in a massive caravan protesting the mandates. In fact, that convoy was the longest in world history, 43 miles long. And they were going to Ottawa. The Canadian Freedom Convoy of truckers is pushing back against mandates, forced, and government regulations. And it's gaining incredible and unprecedented strength from the public. Yeah. Incredible strength. And continued. Well over 1 million people came out in the frigid North Country to cheer those freedom fighters and their convoy on. And the bought-off lamestream fake media, tentacle of the deep state and the globalist syndicate, they did everything in their power to suppress it and to denigrate it. Top government officials, big technology companies, and mainstream media are downplaying the protest dubbed the Freedom Convoy that began in Vancouver on January 23rd, 2022, and expected and did reach Ottawa on January 29th, 2022. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Now, we have our Let's Go Brandon thing here in the United States. Well, they got a new one in Canada. It's called Truck Fudo. I'll let you flip the, Truck Fudo. Yeah, Truck Fudo. Truck Fudo. Good old truck and Fudo. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called the protests and its supporters, this is how they do it, right? They all marginalize us. They all try to marginalize us independent docs that, right, that do stuff in the media for over a year. Actually, 2 years since the beginning of the goat rodeo with And over the past year with, right? Okay. But they do everything they power to denigrate, right? Censor, everything, right? Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called the protests and its supporters a, quote, small fringe minority with unacceptable views. This is what he said, quote, the small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Ottawa are holding unacceptable views that they're expressing do not represent the views of Canadians who have been there for each other, who know that following the science and stepping up to protect each other is the best way to continue to ensure our freedoms, rights, and values as a country, end quote. So, as they made their way across Canada from the west and also another convoy from the east and another convoy from the south, what did Trudeau do? He came out and said, I have to quarantine. I have to leave town. I have to go to my residence. Wait, this guy's had 2 of these. Oh, actually 3 of these because he got the booster. And he was out there saying, if you get this, you can't get sick. You can't. Oh, no. What? See, and this is the bottom line when it comes to totalitarians. When you confront them, what do? They fold. Just as those kids in Lake Placid in 1980 confronted the Russians representing totalitarian regime. They didn't run. They didn't hide. They took it to them. And they won. That's exactly what's happening here. And this is why they are so panicked and so desperate. So what did he do? He said, hey, I gotta go. Next thing you know, it's out that, well, for security purposes, him and his family have to be moved. Not just out of Ottawa, but maybe even out of Canada itself. Whoa. Again, confront totalitarians and their cockroaches. They run back to their little holes. Then this hit. Of course, you can just, right? With Trudeau in hiding, the CBC, the Canadian Broadcast Company, globalist shill organization, just like all the media companies around the world, suggests that, I'm not kidding you, Putin is behind the truckers' freedom convoy. What? This from Zero Hedge. While in a normal world this would be beyond satire and ridicule, it is perhaps of no surprise whatsoever that blame for instigation of the freedom convoy is already being placed on the so-called Russian actors. This from the CBC, quote, given Canada's support of Ukraine, I don't know if it's far-fetched to ask, but there is concern that Russian actors could be continuing to fuel things as this protest grows, perhaps even instigating it, end quote, the CBC. And that's what they do. When they get in trouble, they bring in their little puppets from the bought-off lamestream fake media to misinform you, disinform you, and to keep you on your couch. There wasn't any Russian involvement in this. This were Canadian citizens standing up for their freedoms and liberties. And now we're seeing it around the world. And this is something that should have been led by every doctor in the world to stand up for medical freedom and against medical tyranny that's using a medical intervention that has no long-term testing behind it and significant downside, as we know, through the CDC's own data at the vaccine adverse event reporting systems and what's being presented by whistleblowers that are under oath through the Department of Defense about the problems. Not conspiracy theory. Fact. It might be conspiracy, but it's conspiracy, reality, and fact. So what's happening? The totalitarians are panicked. They're desperate. What are we seeing? In UK, in Scotland, in the Czech Republic, in Croatia. They're all in Denmark, we're dropping all the mandate stuff. No, shh. Oh, gone. Just pretend we didn't do this. Pretend we didn't do all this for the past 2 years. Just forget about it. Let's move on. Right? And in Saskatchewan, their premier, Scott Moe, stepped up. Said, no more. And this is going to happen all across Canada. Mark my words. And the remainder of the world. Because they know they've overplayed their hand. Saskatchewan announces end to passport and thanks the truckers. From Keen Bext. The same day as the trucker convoy hit Ottawa, Premier Scott Moe called on the federal government to end the mandate and announced the coming end to the proof of policy in his own home province. So, each of you have to become a freedom convoy of facts, data, science, truth. We provide that information. I can't go into great depth here because of the censors. Can't do it completely on Rumble either because that's still not a clean platform. But that's why those of us in the independent media have taken the time and the expense, huge expense, to set up our own platforms so that we can give you the complete story. That's what DaveJanda.com is for. We have the free side, the public side. We have the subscription side. We hope it's $9 a month and you get priceless information. Try it for a month. You don't have to sign up for years. Try it for a month. And if you don't like it, get rid of it. But I'm not sure why. Because the information we provide puts you not days, not weeks, but months, if not years ahead of the curve. And empowers you. The more people we have empowered, the more people we have educated, and the more people we have as part of our convoy of bringing the facts, the data, the science, and the truth, whether it's on this, or climate issues, or geopolitics, or the financial situation, the economic situation around the country, around the world, about the education system, about what's happening at the borders with immigration. That's what we do. And we hope you will join our convoy of freedom and take that information to anyone you know and love. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.